today I regained some of my rage. Something happened. I realized what had been holding me back. And it was some of my old beliefs, something deeply programmed and deep, like something I installed a long time ago, all the way back to primary school. Because if you don't know, I'm going to start carpentry school. Or I'm going to starting that education. I'm going to become a carpenter. Even though I already finished my education to become a teacher. So, making a U-turn, some may look at it that way, but I don't. I'm just trying to learn this new skill. But I've always told myself, I realized, that I'm very bad at math. So I can do all the basic math to a certain point, to a certain extent, and then the rest, like all things beyond the basics, I can't do. That's what I've been telling myself, that I'm a failure at math. And so the way I realized that is, I went to the school where I'm going to become a carpenter, right? And this guide, he showed me around and he tried to figure out what he was going to do with me. And because I already had math at a certain level, he just said, like, you have the merit, I'll give you the merit. So, like, you don't have to do the math in school to become a carpenter. We'll just let you skip that. And then I kind of said, like, but I don't believe my math is that great. So maybe I should do it anyways. He just said, no, it's fine. It's very basic. You got this. We'll just let you skip it. And I just said, okay. And I think a few weeks have gone by now. And I'm starting next week. Like next Monday. But something's been like feeling off, feeling wrong. And it's this fucking math. Because I know in carpentry you have some different ways you have to use math. And I can do most of them, but I know that there was something wrong, something that might, like if I skip the math class, then it will be stopping me once I go out to do all the practical stuff. Because I don't have the theory, or I don't feel confident. Yeah. So I finally today looked into it. And I found out that it's something about geometry. It's about the visuals of the different shapes, and then you have numbers and letters. And something just happens in my brain, in my mind, where it just becomes this big mess. And of course, what I'm trying to say with this is, once I get that feeling that I can't figure it out and it's just one big mess, it takes me back to primary school, where I had this sensation the first time. And I got this like anger and frustration within me. And it was deeply rooted. Very deeply rooted. But because I'm an adult now, I could observe this feeling. And the anger and the frustration turned into this, I'm not going to let you like bring me down. And I was like, talking to this old memory, I guess. I could just feel this rage coming on, and it became very motivating. And I just said, that's it, man. This is some old belief, because I failed at like becoming very confident in geometry. Like, is that supposed to destroy my entire experience with becoming a carpenter and maybe even stop me No, of course not. But I think we all have some old beliefs about ourselves that will make us not even look at certain areas in our life, or like look to certain professions, because we told ourselves in primary school when we were kids that, oh, I'm not good at this subject. This is not what I'm made for. And then we don't like do anything that has something to do with that in a certain profession, career, or hobby, because we already stamped failure in that certain area. And that's so once it clicked for me, I became very motivated. So I'm going to call the guide tomorrow, and I'm going to tell him to shut the fuck up and put me back on the math class. And I'm going to become amazing at geometry. It's going to be so easy for me, like not like high level, but at the level I'm supposed to learn. And that'll be it. I'll turn this failure into a success. And that's the plan. So if you have some sort of old belief, if you ask yourself, like if you can say, I'm bad at, and then something should pop up for you, I'm bad at math, for example. It's not true. Well, it is true that you are bad at that certain, like if you talk about me, I am bad at math in that certain area once I looked into it. But I'm only bad because I got frustrated, and like it's not a natural thing for me. It doesn't come naturally to me. And then somehow I didn't get enough wins when I did that back in primary school. And then I just gave up. And apparently no one helped me to learn it in a way that was better for me. Because I know now that I have something with visuals. I'm like a visual learner. And that's when I see all the numbers and letters and the shapes. Something messes up and I haven't quite figured it out what's happening. But now I can teach myself and find the best way in order to memorize it. But this is just one area. And I didn't even know until today that this was the narrative that I told myself. So, what is your narrative? What are you awful at? And stay awful because you think that you cannot become good at that certain area. I think if we go into this question, we just say, I'm bad at, and whatever comes up, we look into it and we find out what went wrong. Because every time we stamp failure on our identity, this is going to spill out into like the entirety of your individual, of my individuality. And like you don't have to make too many stamps of like, I'm a failure in order to truly believe that you are a lesser person. Vice versa, it doesn't take too many success stamps in order to tell you to know deeply inside that you are a success. Somehow, like, don't get me wrong, it's not about becoming like this self-loving narcissist, like overly self-loving narcissist. It's just clearing out the garbage that's holding you back. And like I felt a huge relief, like the battle hasn't even begun yet to overcome this failure stamp that I have somewhere on me in regards to math. But I localized, like I found out this is something to do with why I feel bad about this area. But it takes the courage. This is about facing your fears. The fear of being a letdown, the fear of being a failure, the fear of going through something very hurtful, because it hurts when you're bad at something and you just keep failing and you can't figure it out. And like you put in a lot of work, but there is no positive result. It's just like you confirming that you suck at something. And like, I know I'll never be a genius at math, but I need a certain amount of math knowledge and skill in order to be able to acquire this carpentry skill. It's a side quest. It's a main quest actually, because this is a part on the main quest to become a carpenter. Right. Good. I think you understand. So ask yourself, what are you bad at? What do you feel bad at? And it's not just skills, it's also like emotionally and spiritually, physically. It's everything. It's anything. And then observe what's the language like? How do you tell yourself that you suck at something? And the truth is that you suck, but it doesn't have to stay that way. If you want it to stay that way and you don't care, then that's fine. It could also be like, if you say that, like you say to yourself, I'm a loser, just because, then you have a lot to uncover. But the reason why you say that you're a loser, if you're in like out there, and if it's that extreme, then you need to uncover what that means. Like, what do you mean by being a loser at what? A loser at life? Is it because you haven't acquired any skills, or you haven't finished any education, or like go into it, find out what is it that makes you feel this very low self-worth. And that is the first step, is to turn around and not don't run away from that feeling of discomfort. Again, it's always the same. The answer is always the same. Face the discomfort. Face your fears. Turn around and look at yourself. Look at your life. It's not that dangerous. Yes, it's going to hurt, maybe. And I'm strictly speaking to those who need it, right? For all you guys who have perfect lives, I'm very happy for you. And for all those guys who don't feel like pornography is ruining your life, that's great. And if you can masturbate every single day and feel amazing, and you achieve your goals every day, I commend you, I applaud you. And I wish the best for all of you. But that's just not me. And a lot of guys are like me when it comes to needing to use semen as a life force in order to achieve your wildest dreams. Right now in my life, I just can't settle with mediocrity. I really want a great life for myself. I really want the best life for myself. So that's what I found out today. That I stamped failure on myself in this area. And once I realized it, it sort of lifted and I got this rage back and I got some motivation. So that's great. So I'm going to be calling tomorrow and I'm going to go to war with some math and hopefully turn it into a success story. I hope you all guys are doing great. Got some more inflows of subscribers and a few trolls. I see you guys. Like, no one has directly insulted me yet. Well, I'd said anything negative. I guess that's great. But like, there's a few trolls, not trolls, there's a few people just directly saying the opposite of what I'm saying, and that's fine. Yeah, but if you want to turn it into a discussion or you have a certain point, maybe try to add some text to it, and maybe I can address it in the next video. Anyways, that's it for tonight. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.